Hey friends, welcome to the Friday check-in with Happily Even After Betrayal with Life Coach Jen. I'm so glad you're here. So first off, I'm going to talk to you about my cast. If you are going through divorce, if you are divorced and you have kids, you definitely are going to want to listen to this podcast. It is part 2 with my interview, my discussion with Bubba Page. And Bubba has 8 kids and he got divorced a couple of years ago. And I really liked talking to him. He's very passionate about helping dads. He's creating the fatherhood movement, which I really think a lot of men, especially that have experienced divorce, there just doesn't seem to be as much support for men as there is women. I might be wrong about that. And maybe I see, of course, more women talking about divorce on my algorithm, but I do have a lot of male clients and I know men and women both struggle with divorce. Go listen to it. It's on YouTube as well as any podcast platform that you listen to. And it's my part 2 discussion with Bubba Page about navigating divorce with kids. Now, everyone's situation is different. And so your situation might not be as amicable or friendly as his, or might be hard to co-parent. And I think that's why it's so valuable to have a coach, have a support system, so you can have someone that is neutral helping you make better decisions that are more empowered and that are speaking from what you need instead of what you fall into the old patterns of when you were married to this person and you can shut down. Lots of things can happen. So anyways, go listen to the podcast. Now, what I really want to talk about today is a pattern I've seen this week in my clients. It's not my situation anymore, but the emotion of frustration. Every person I talked to today or this week, even if it wasn't like from my brother to my kids, a lot of frustration happening right now. And of course, we're frustrated, right? Of course, you have a lot of good reasons to feel frustrated. But first of all, I want you to know frustration is an emotion that is in your body, okay? And some of us react to frustration. Some of us just shut down and avoid it and then stay really busy so we don't have to feel it. We resist it, so we just ignore it. We just push it down and eventually then it will pop up and we react. So I want you to see what's happening. So I'm going to show you on my flip chart, which I use a lot with my clients. So we have an expectation, okay? So our expectation, and I'm guessing be really curious about when you felt frustrated. Sometimes it's with our kids. They should. And I also want you to notice, are you using should? If we've experienced betrayal, either if we're getting divorced or with our spouse who we're trying to rebuild our marriage with, we have an expectation of how they should be, okay? It's gonna get you in trouble every time. Then our reality. We're in reality in black. Our reality, okay? Reality is what's happening right now. This gap, this space here is frustration. Now, just know this is optional, okay? And what I mean by that, first of all, you can choose. Remember, you think it's your spouse. We'll put him or her up here. You think your spouse is causing you to feel frustrated. Okay? It is not your spouse. It's your thoughts about your spouse that make you feel frustrated. And it's usually because you have an expectation. We're going to go with dishes. I like the dishes example. Hey, babe, can you load the dishwasher? And they don't do it. You had an expectation that you were going to ask them. This could go with kids too. You had an expectation that they were going to load the dishwasher. The reality was they didn't. You think they should have, and now you feel frustrated. Okay, so the way out of this, first of all, is to notice, oh, I expected them. The reality is they didn't. Now, you could feel frustrated still, but you're choosing it on purpose, or you could be disappointed. There's a lot of emotions we could put in here. But once you can accept your reality, this gap gets smaller, okay? And when you can take out the should your spouse just do exactly what you asked them to do the first time? That would be nice, but that doesn't happen. That's not your reality. That's not what's happening right now. And so when you can slow your brain down, because this is your brain going out of control, looping, creating this mess here. If you can slow your brain down, bring your CEO part of your brain online and try to slow it down and be like, okay, I see my part is what I expected. Clearly, I either have really high expectations, and you can still choose to have high expectations. I'm not asking you to lower your expectations. I just want you to own the truth about it, because your expectations and your reality are not matching. And when you can accept, I'll just call it accept. And I'm not saying either that when you accept this, then your standards get lower. Actually, your reality gets more closer to your expectations, because you're not getting frustrated. Because guess what happens when we're frustrated? We snap, we yell, we say rude things. Some of us shut down, some of us disconnect. The whole point of being in a relationship is to connect. So we do all the things opposite of what we're really wanting when we get frustrated. So I just want you to be onto your brain. I want you to become aware that this is what's happening, okay? And what I would just challenge you to be curious and compassionate. Don't judge yourself. Don't judge your partner. Don't judge your kids. Just be like, oh, interesting. I see what I'm doing here. Because when we can own our part in it, that's when change starts happening. And when change starts happening, things start happening and become different. And this will get smaller. I rarely feel frustrated because, first of all, don't think my kids should or shouldn't do things. Yeah, I might ask them to do things, but if we're going to go with the dishes. If I asked one of my kids to do something and let's say they don't, and I ask them again and they don't, and I want the dishes done, for me, I'm not saying this is the right or wrong way, but I just don't choose to get frustrated. I go do the dishes. I feel like, why are we yelling at someone about dishes? Now, there are other things that I may be curious about. Hey, I've asked you to come home. This is a made up scenario, but I asked you to come home at midnight and you're showing up at 2 a.m. And can we have a talk about that? We're going to have a discussion about it. But for me, just to jump to be like, they should know that I'm staying up worried about them, that they should come home at a certain time, right? So I just want you to own your part in it. And then if you need to have a conversation, of course you can have it, but when you have it from judgment or blame or shame, which is should, you're not going to get very far, and you're going to have a lot more success the more curious, the more compassionate you are towards yourself and whoever you are feeling frustrated with. Okay, I hope that helps. Have a beautiful weekend, and I will see you next Friday. Bye.